welcome back to Elevate Your Life and Business. If this is your first time joining, my name is Marie, and on this channel I like to share life's tips and tricks that I've already learned on my path, and I also am documenting and sharing my entrepreneur journey as I try to break my 9-to-5. And I seem to be on a roll with all the relationship advice, so I have another important one coming to you guys today, and that is that you are what you accept. So life is challenging, right? And all the past videos that I've done about building yourself up, about fixing your mentality, fixing your body, understanding the pillars of life, all this information, you have to have that first. So if you haven't watched those videos, please go to those first, because this is just building off of what I've already done. And one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos is honestly just to remind myself in the future. And there's even occasionally where I've watched my own videos for a pick-me-up or for a reminder on what I've already known. But today, it's all about that you are what you accept. And so in order to know what to accept first from other people, you have to know what to accept from yourself. You've got to build yourself first. And I can tell you, especially in the last 2 years when everything kind of went to hell for me, if I'm just being honest, it all kind of went to hell. And my life was already on fire. And so I could either do one of two things. I could either play the victim game. Why me? Why did this happen to me? Why am I not good enough? Why am I not lovable? Why is my life falling apart to pieces in a handbasket, or going to hell in a handbasket, depending on what you like, how you prefer to say that. Or I could be like, okay, my world is already on fire. Life is happening for me, not against me. And that means that there was a reason. It means that there's a purpose, and there's a reason why God wants me to get this strong. And if that's the reason why, and if everything leading up to this event, everything leading up to this threshold was supposed to be on purpose, then maybe I should be leaning into this and not against it. So if my world is falling apart, maybe it's supposed to fall apart for a reason, so I can build it back up, so I can make a better version of me, or even a new me that I didn't even think was possible. So there was a turning point. And if you reach these turning points, you get a really good understanding very quickly about who you are. And when you're doing that, and I've talked about this in other videos about being authentically you, where you go through what you are and what you are not, and then there's a gray zone of well, I'm not sure. Then you go on an adventure to find out about that gray area. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Are you a runner? Do you like running? Well, if you've never tried it, that's a gray area. And if you go running and you love it, well, you're a runner. If you hate it and you're like, I never want to do this again, then that's not for you. And that is one very small piece in the puzzle that makes you you. All these experiences, all these puzzle pieces, all these little pieces form the bigger picture. And you have to have this bigger picture first in order to understand about what I'm talking about today. And that's the beautiful thing about knowledge, is that it builds on itself. Once you get the foundation, once you start understanding the basics, then you can build up and you can build quicker. That's the thing that kind of shook me, and I was like, whoa. You think if you're building blocks, and let's just say you're making a Lego pyramid, for goodness sakes, there's the foundation and you just click, 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 right? You would think that it would take the same amount of time from the bottom to the top, right? But if we're building, instead of, let's say it's a cube. So if you're building a cube, everything's even, same amount on each side going up, right? So it takes the same amount of effort. But I find that knowledge is more of like a pyramid, where as you lay the foundation is the longest part, is putting in all the foundations and making sure it's solid and that it's steady and that it can support the weight of what's about to be put on top of it. But if life is like a pyramid, the more you build up on knowledge, the faster you go, because you already have the foundation. You already know how to check if it's a part of you. You already know how strong that bottom layer is. And the top layer on top of that, it's a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less, right? Because as you're going up on the pyramid, it plateaus to that shining grill at the top. So that all to be said, life is like a pyramid. Now, to get to the essence of what this video is about, you are what you accept. You can also take this to be is look at the people around you. I think this metaphor is actually not even just a metaphor. I think it's just really good advice. If you look at the 5 closest people around you, they're a reflection on who you are. Okay, so if you're hanging out with a bunch of billionaires, let's say there's 5 billionaires that you're hanging around with, chances are you're going to be the 6th. Like really good chance you're going to be the 6th. If you want to change your life, and let's just say like you don't have access to, you can't call up Tony Robbins, Jordan Peterson, or some of these other amazing people that exist. Like you can't just call them up and be like, hey, what's up? I'd love to talk. I'd love to chat. I'd love to pick your brain. Okay, you can't do that, right? You don't have that access. But what could you do? You could go on YouTube. You could go watch some of their podcasts. You could watch their interviews. And by listening to them, how they speak, how they answer, what the depth of the answers of the questions, what questions do they ask? By just putting them into your brain, by watching them, they become your peers. Or they become your metaphorical peers, which in reality could someday become your actual peers, or you actually sit down with these people. And that means that you are what you accept. If you accept people that use and abuse you, accept. And accept can be not doing anything at all. So remember, silence or non-action is a choice. If you say, oh, I'm not going to choose. No. You did just make a choice by saying that. I'm not going to make a choice is a choice to remain where you are, to be miserable where you are. So you are what you accept. And that comes from respect. That comes what you accept of yourself. So if you accept yourself to be on the couch eating, potato chips every night, working a 9-to-5 and just, bring a 9-to-5 that you hate, by the way, something that doesn't turn you on, doesn't make you grow. It's just punching a clock. So if you are all these things, if you accept these things, you are what you accept, which could also be related to standards. To what standard do you hold yourself? To what standard do you hold others? Because that is just as important. It's not just you. You can only control you. That is the foundation. That's the starting place. That's why we worked on building the inside out. Because you got to take care of the inside. You got to take care of your internal environment first before you can either affect or at the very least hold at bay the outside world. Because it's going to affect you whether you like it or not. Things are outside of our control. Beautiful, wonderful, horrible, and terrible things happen in the outside world. Those things you cannot control, but you can control you. You can control your internal environment. And so we build that up first, and then we can start dealing with the outside world. And when you're dealing with the outside world, this is one of those lessons that may help you on your way. And that is you are what you accept. I will tell you, because occasionally I get personal. Occasionally, I honestly, I don't really like sharing personal things about myself. I usually either try to do it as either a metaphor or a generalization. I'm a very private person in real life, but occasionally I get that internal feeling that I need to share with you guys, that something that I have gone through would be of great help to somebody else. And so I will tell you this, and I will be personal on this one because I think this lesson is so important. You are what you accept. And this one goes back to one of my toxic parents. In the last 2 years, that toxic parent put a nuclear bomb in my life. When I said my world was on fire, it is relating to this. This person set off a nuclear bomb in my life and completely and utterly destroyed that relationship to the point where I realized that I am no longer going to accept this. You are not going to treat me this way. I don't just demand respect. I'm going to freaking command it. And if you can't give me the respect that I deserve, well, there's the door. Get out of my life and don't let the door hit you on the way out. And while that was the first initial thought process, I will tell you, so hopefully this helps too, because I'm going to stop myself and just before I forget this thought, when you do that, Can you hear like there's some anger there? There's some you need to, I worked on, and so maybe this will help you too, to the point where I got to indifference, where I just don't care. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. Whatever you do, wherever you are, whatever it is your life is, I just don't care. I'm living my own life. I'm living my own truth. I am accepting what is good for me. I am accepting people, places, and things that make me a better human being, that make me more than what I am. And you were not a part of that. And even though you were my parent, even though you were supposed to love and protect me, good luck in life. And thank you. Thank you for showing me, for being so awful that I could grow and improve in spite of you. I will help other people, and I will share my story, generally speaking, because I don't share all of it, but I will share parts of my story so that maybe someone else who might watch and stumble across this video someday, who is accepting behaviors, peoples, and things that they shouldn't be. And maybe you can relate to me in my story and this toxic parent. And I say toxic too, let's clarify this, because I am not a psychologist. And I don't want to call this person, my parent, X, Y, and Z, because I'm not certified, I'm not clarified to do that. I will tell you this, I do think, I do not know, and this is why I don't use this term lightly or often at all. You probably won't catch me saying it often, but I do think that this parent is at the very least a narcissist. Their love is very conditional and it's all about them, and they are a control freak in the extreme. And I will say that was a lesson that life taught me very quickly, especially since I didn't have a lot of control of my life to begin with. And that's why I'm taking control. That's why I'm accepting what is good for me. I'm accepting the future that I want, because I want the control. I want to be able to control my own life. You get controlled by someone else long enough and it's like, whoa. When you finally do have freedom, it's like, okay, you're free. But the struggle to get free can be excruciating, if we're being honest. But I stopped accepting that behavior. I stopped accepting that that was okay. That, hey, they're my parent. Like, they can get away with almost anything but murder, right? You're supposed to love your parents unconditionally, no matter what they say or do to you. Like, you're supposed to love your parents. And I just got sick of it. And this was not something that I did lightly. This is not something that I came to a sudden epiphany of, oh, this person's got to go. Like, this was years of, okay, I'll give a second chance. Okay, well, you know, that second chance deserves a third. They're my parent. And like, by chances, it's not like something stupid, like, oh, like they didn't put gas in the car. Like, it's not like something stupid like that. It's like a mental, emotional, even, you know, physical, like, you know, they have abused you. They have hurt you. Like, oh, I'll give a second chance. Like, you get stuck in that cycle of, it's my parent. What can I do? It's my parent. I'm going to forgive this, if you will. And I'll get to that in maybe the next video. You are what you accept. And when you no longer accept people, places, and things that hurt you, that bring you down to the floor, that make you think you're less than, that make you think that you cannot do things, that you are not worthy of time, love, or affection. For me personally, that was a threshold. That was not another minute, not another hour, not another bloody second will I tolerate this. Here is the door. Get the heck out of my life. And it does take strength. It takes a mountain of strength. This could be what you think is the love of your life. He is it for you. Until he starts maybe stealing your money or abusing you or saying, why would you want to do that? You can't do that. You'll never be good enough for that job. But you love him so much. You love him so much. So here's a question for you, my audience. Is it worth it to say, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, and get stuck in a cycle where they're never changing and you're constantly getting abused or you're constantly taking hell? Or would you rather just honestly, like, and that's where I got in my journey. I was like, I'm done with this. I would rather go through excruciating, horrible, terrible, without words pain now and cut you out of my life then go through this over and over and over and over. I have given you more chances than you probably deserve. Have you given more chances to that person? That one that just came to your mind right now that you're like, yeah, Marie, I get it. I understand what you're saying, and they probably got to go out of my life too. Did I hit a nerve? Because I got to tell you, Tony Robbins and Jordan Peterson hit a couple of mine along my journey, where I was like, I would listen to a podcast and I would listen to their interviews and I would just be taken back. I'd be like, God, okay, I'm going about this wrong. There is a better life. I didn't know it at the time, and maybe you don't know either, but I will tell you, if you take responsibility and if you stop accepting people, places, things, and behaviors towards you that make you less than, that bring you down, that hurt you deeply, let them go. Say that enough is enough. Find the inner willpower, because it's going to hurt like hell. It is going to hurt. I can't tell you how much, especially if you love this person, especially if this is a significant other, if this is someone you've given your life to. And I think that's the best way to put it, right? Because it could be a parent, a lover, hell, it could probably even be a child that's making your life absolutely miserable. You are responsible for your life, and you are responsible for the behavior that you accept towards you. Now, for me, I had given multiple chances, and at that point, that parent had to go. Like, it wasn't even an option anymore. And I am kind of really sad to tell the world on this little channel here that my life is 10,000 times better without that person in it. But maybe for you, and this is what I hope, and this is some of the things that I went through before I got to that point, I would push back and say, no, you do not get to talk to me like that. I don't care if you're my parent. I don't care if you're my boyfriend. I don't care. You do not talk to me that way. Not because I'm an egotistical, blah, blah, blah. Not because I'm riding on my high horse, but because their behavior towards me was truly belittling. It would, like, for instance, like maybe they're only, here's a generalization, maybe all they're doing is ever talking about themselves and putting problem after problem after problem on you. But the minute you have a problem, the minute you have, you want their advice on, what pathway to take in life, how dare you ask them? How dare you ask them for support, for their opinion, for them to step outside themselves for 1 minute to think about you? For 1 minute to think about you. How dare you ask for that? No, you're not going to treat me that way anymore. I refuse to accept this behavior. I am not asking. I'm not even demanding. I am commanding respect, because I respect myself first. And you've got to get the inner respect first, because if you can't respect yourself, then how in the heck do you expect anyone else to respect you? And so this video has gone on a little bit longer than I was thinking, but it's so powerful and it's so deep. This is a really deep conversation today, and it's something that maybe you should think about. Remember, and here's a little tip to get into your subconscious. Keep an open mind. Take a deep breath for a minute before I ask you this question. And my question is what person, place, or thing are you accepting right now that you would no longer accept if you had the willpower and the resources inside of yourself to do it? The first thing that comes to mind, not a deep process, not thought after thought. What is the first thing that just came to your mind? Because our subconscious, or you could even call it, the more I talk about this, the more research I do, the more I learn, I call it your soul. The soul that's internal, that keeps your heart beating and your lungs beating, and that's connected to the universe or God, whichever you prefer. That part of you, it knows so much more than your conscious mind ever will. And the first answer is usually, almost always, don't do anything stupid now, almost always the thing that needs the most attention or is the right answer. So whatever you thought of when I said, what is it that you're accepting that you shouldn't be? That is something that needs your attention, and maybe you should evaluate if you could do something different, better, or if you need to make changes in that area, place, person, commitment, whatever it is. If it just came to your mind, your soul is telling you that you need to pay attention, that there's something there. That there's something there. So I'm going to end this video. I know, that was a little bit powerful. Even I'm like, that was really deep. I think this might be the deepest video I think I've ever done, and definitely one of the most personal ones. I might need a breather after this. You are what you accept. And I've talked a lot of the negatives about not accepting bad things, but here's the other side of the coin, and I want to leave on this note because I'm always about leaving on a happy note. I'm always about trying to see the cup half full, not half empty. Realistic though, because if there's nothing else that I am in this world, it is realistic after everything I've been through. And that is also, especially if you come from a dark place, if you come from a rough start, don't be afraid to accept big, beautiful, wonderful things that come your way as well. Because that's the other side of it, isn't it? That sometimes we don't feel like we're worthy, that we haven't done enough, that we are not enough to accept the beautiful blessings that are in our lives. And so if you are seeing this video, it's meant for you. You're supposed to see this. Don't be afraid to take around and take a look at your husband, your kids, your beautiful home. Heck, maybe it's just looking in the mirror and just saying, I look beautiful and I am alive today. Maybe it's something just as simple as that. Maybe you're like me and you're a fur mom and you're like, oh, my beautiful dog. I'm not alone. My beautiful fur baby. Life is such a blessing. It can be. It's also hell on earth sometimes. Like, no joke about that. And you're talking to a girl that's been through a lot of it. But don't be afraid to accept the beautiful blessings that are meant for you, because you really do truly deserve it. Just be careful that you're not accepting places, peoples, and things that bring you down and make you less than. That you don't ask for respect, you demand it. And you demand it and command it by first respecting yourself. If this was powerful for you, if this made a difference in your life, if you could please hit on that subscribe button and the like button. And if you truly got something out of this, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. See you guys in the next video. I truly hope this helps you. Have a good day.